We're joined by Seattle University head coach Jim Hayford. Coach, you were picked to finish third in the WAC by the coaches and fourth by the media. What are your thoughts on those predictions?
I don't remember what we were picked my first year. This is my 20th year as head coach. I can remember what every team ended the season, but I can't even remember last year's preseason poll. But it makes good conversation for today, right? So I think that shows just some respect for how last year's team did, which we got a couple really good returning players who had a lot of playing time in Matei and Morgan, and maybe some respect for just the guys that had to sit out last year as well. So I have tremendous respect for the other coaches, the teams in the conference. Last year was Seattle U's first winning season in the WAC. We went 8-6, and 6 of our 8 wins were by 1 possession. And so the difference between, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, it's just microscopic, which makes for a great conference tournament when anybody can beat anybody. And so we'll take it, but when I get on the plane here, I'll probably have already forgotten about it.
You're coming off a 20-win season, the first Seattle U in Division I play since 1963-64. What was it like to experience that kind of success in your first season?
Well, that was the goal we set, and I believe in setting goals that are hard to reach, yet still attainable, that aren't a pipe dream. And so we started day one of practice with those guys, like, hey, let's go be a 20-win team. Let's go get some respect right out of the gate for the program. We couldn't have done it without the 3 grad transfers last year. Jordan Hill from Wisconsin, Josh Hurley from Vermont, and Rashad Gittens from Weber State. Those 3 guys, I'll just forever be grateful to them that they said, hey, Coach, we're going to help you get this thing started. Now, Seattle U, it sells itself. They were able to enroll in some great graduate programs. It's awesome coaching at a school where academically you don't have to apologize for anything. We have a nationally ranked business program. The academic rankings speak for itself, and we're in one of America's greatest cities. And so it was neat for those guys to enjoy both of those things, but to combine it with winning basketball, that's why we as a coaching staff came to Seattle. And so to make that mark in the first year was fantastic. And I know it excited our fan base, and I believe that it's something we can build on and try to grow from.
Matei Kavasa is a preseason all-WAC first-team pick. Can you talk about what he brings to your team?
Yeah, Matei is somebody that the WAC should be really proud of. He was the WAC freshman of the year his first year, and then second-team all-conference player, I believe, last year. And he's only getting better and has a chance to put his name on the Seattle U's records in the scoring categories. I think he's growing as a rebounder and a more complete player. But he's one of America's elite shooters. People who know how to really judge these things and get inside of the numbers have him as the 8th best returning long-distance shooter in the country. By far the best returning shooter in the WAC. And but he also has great size at the guard position, at 6'8", and he's put a lot of strength on, and I think we can use him in different mismatches, different ways. But he's an elite level player. He's an elite person, a fantastic student, and I'm just really grateful that the previous coaching staff recruited him, and I'm really glad he's embraced our coaching staff, and he's someone I just genuinely love coaching every single day.
You welcomed 3 transfers who were part of your first recruiting class but sat out last season due to NCAA transfer rules. What do you expect from those 3 this year?
I expect them all to be really good. I was able to listen to a few of the other coaches, and gosh, it can get intimidating. Some of these guys have 13 All-Americans on their team, but these 3 guys are really good. Miles from Seton Hall is going to be one of the top post players in our conference. He's really strong. He has great basketball skills with great athleticism and loves to compete. Delonte was the Patriot League Freshman of the Year at American University. Can really put the ball in the basket and score from multiple ways, post up on the drive, can shoot the three. Just the other day, he made 100 threes out of 111 attempts. And he's got great size at the guard position. So, but, you know, I want to play fast, and he can play fast. And then Deshaun was a top 200 recruit in the country who went to SMU out of high school from Oklahoma City, spent the year in Dallas, spent the year with us. Exceptional athlete, really elite level defender, great rebounding for a 6'5" guard. And as he develops his skills, has a chance to be a really, really good player. So those are three guys that we're really counting on because we don't have any seniors. It's only the second time in my 20 years as head coach that I'm coaching a team without seniors. And so I expect a lot of experience and leadership from those guys, along with Morgan and Matei.
Are there any other newcomers you expect to contribute right away?
Yeah, you know, I don't like putting pressure on freshmen, but we're really excited about our freshman class. So Ian Burke, Trey Hopkins, Riley Grigsby, Jacob Iman, Rip Economou, those five guys, as we kind of move into now building a program, we expect them to compete for playing time, and definitely for their junior and senior year to be a team that's leading us to really new heights as a program. And it's neat to have a group of five guys that we can bring up through the 4 years, but one or two of those guys are going to have to contribute right away. And I think a few of them might be capable. But I've also seen freshmen where when you count on them too much early, that's really not the best thing for them. So we'll just try to figure out how to do that, how they respond to the situation, and keep their confidence up as they adjust to Division I basketball. We play a really tough non-conference schedule. We're playing 4 Pac-12 schools, and so you want to try to measure doses of success with challenge and failure as they adjust to the new level of competition. So we are going to count on at least one or two of those freshmen.
You just mentioned you have 4 non-conference games against Pac-12 teams, Stanford, Washington State, Washington, and California. What's your rationale in scheduling those games?
We want to play teams that are in the best conference on the West Coast, and I'd like all the WAC head coaches to schedule aggressively and competitively. You can't beat them if you don't play them. And so my teams have historically loved those challenges, embraced those challenges. They mean something. Most of the time you got to go play them on the road. We're fortunate Washington State's coming to our place this year. But it's something that we'll keep on our schedule because I really believe it raises the caliber of your program.
This question comes from Twitter user Elliot Jamar. What is your team hashtag or motto, and what does it mean?
Hi, Elliot. Nice. Thanks for the question. Elliot's our women's basketball operations director. Solid dude. Together we soar. And this is something that our whole athletic department adjusted to, bought into really a year ago last summer. That was kind of out of, if we're going to be successful, it's going to be together. We've got a dynamic leader in Shani Fink, our athletic director, and so first and foremost, that organizational health has to come from our athletic department and from our head coaches into our assistant coaches. And so that word together is something that is really starting to mean something more and more all the time at Seattle U. And then, you know, we're Red Hawks, so you got to soar, right? And so we're on the rise.
You're playing the majority of your home games on campus at the Red Hawk Center, where you played a postseason game last year. What is the atmosphere like in a smaller venue, and is there a different energy playing on campus?
Well, we're really excited about what's going on with our facilities at Seattle U. 2 years from now, we'll be back in what was known as Key Arena, probably have a different name then. but it'll be the state-of-the-art arena in America. Over $750 million invested in the facility. It's being built to house an NBA team. The NHL is coming to that arena. We're glad to be the college tenant of that building. When you look at other programs in America that share a facility at that level, you think of teams like Seton Hall with the New Jersey Devils and the NHL, Villanova with the Sixers in Philadelphia, Georgetown, Washington, D.C. with the Wizards. And so we're excited to be in that kind of neighborhood, and it speaks a little bit to our vision and ambition for a program. So we've got a great new facility coming. Now, in the meantime, as you ask, well, that's 2 years on campus. And I think it's just a great opportunity for us to really engage our students and turn the student support of our program into something that's a real vibrant part of the culture of what it is to be a Seattle U student. And so with us being right there in the middle of campus where you got 4,000 or 5,000 students living, it's going to make it easy for them to get to the game. And I have a feeling our games will be the toughest ticket to get in Seattle this winter.
Can you talk about the recent success of the WAC and the direction you see the league heading?
Yeah, it's something I paid attention to. I coached in the Big Sky, brought our 2015 team as the Big Sky representative of the NCAA tournament. Really proud of those guys. And at that time, I don't know if the WAC was really on my radar, but now the WAC's passed up the Big Sky. It's passed up a lot of the other conferences that are on the West Coast, and conferences across the country are kind of looking at how are they doing this. And so my analysis of this is you got to start with a great anchor, and I think New Mexico State has been that program to our conference. Rich basketball tradition, always good. And so there's someone that sets a standard. So now everybody's like, hey, if we're going to do this, we got to compete with them. So great respect for them. And then, I don't think there's a school in the country that's made the commitment to basketball that Grand Canyon has the last 5-6 years in the support of their students and their community. And so that's a neat success story on the college basketball landscape. And then where Coach Pope's brought Utah Valley in the last 3 years, in their facilities, and how relevant that school is in the state of Utah. And then it's just 2 seasons away, but Coach Barnes pulled one of college basketball's great miracles with getting to the NIT and playing at Madison Square Garden in the Final Four out of the WAC. And so Lou down at Rio Grande has that program on the rise, the better it's been in the last 15-20 years. Just 2 years ago, Kareem had Kansas City in the postseason. And so you look through the league, and it's like, okay, who's played in the postseason just in the last 2 seasons? Well, everybody but one school. And so that's why getting road wins in the WAC are so hard to get. And so it's only going to get better. And so it's neat to be a part of something like that. And there's not a lot of coaches that participate in conferences where it's like, hey, this is tough. This is really, really tough. You look at it, and there's just really, really good coaches, and then schools that are really committed to their program success.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach.
All right. It's great talking about Seattle U basketball and WAC basketball. Look for a great season, and really appreciate all the hard work that you, the WAC staff, are doing. Thank you very much.